New Zealand refuses quarantine-free trips from Australia as Australian Capital Territory joins travel bubble. NZ PM Jacinda Ardern says her country will not open up until Australia records a month without community transmission of COVID-19.
Here's a summary of the article.
New Zealand will not reciprocate quarantine-free trips across the Tasman as the Australian Capital Territory joins Australia's travel bubble with the country. On Friday, Australia's Deputy Prime Minister, Michael McCormack, announced New South Wales and the Northern Territory would allow Kiwis to bypass the compulsory fortnight of quarantine on arrival from 16 October. On the same day, the New Zealand Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, said the country would stand strong on its pledge to not open up until Australia, or specific states and territories, recorded a month without community transmission of COVID-19. On Saturday, NSW health authorities announced 8 consecutive days without a locally transmitted case, making the 23rd of October the next possible day it could fulfill New Zealand's requirements. NSW Health said there was no ongoing risk to the public and most of the flight's passengers were already in mandatory hotel quarantine. South Australia reported 2 COVID-19 cases on Friday, the first in more than a week. Asked whether WA would consider a travel bubble with South Australia and the Northern Territory, where case numbers are similarly low, the Premier said there was no benefit and it would only result in WA losing tourist dollars.
This post received a score of 52,000, with an upvote ratio of 94%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
She has played Plage Inc.
Goddamn New Zealand, Greenland, and Madagascar always closing their borders.
At least we know that part is realistic.
To the point where Greenland got infected and cured people.
The White House has more cases than NZ.
We've had a total 25 deaths from COVID or something ridiculous. And seem to have curb-stomped the second wave even easier than the first wave. Jacinda's cruising. She is that meme of the dude with the juice on the longboard.
The first wave got in everywhere. There were something like 16 separate cities all over both islands. The second wave, more of a hiccup if you ask me, was contained to the Auckland area and fortunately wasn't allowed to spread. We handled the first one as well as could be expected considering our lack of experience. We handled the second one much, much better.
New Zealand has 16 cities? I can barely count 5, but that probably helped curb the spread.
Lol. I suppose it depends on your definition of city.
I'm Aussie and I'm with Jacinda.
I'm sorry but you can be with her after a 14-day quarantine like everyone else.
I'm American and I wish I could be with Jacinda, probably never leaving the country again at this rate lol.
I was living in New Zealand during their last election, 2017, and I wish I could go back sometimes. Their politics, and honestly how they do a lot of things, just makes so much more sense than what we do in the US. Only thing is, it takes forever and a half to get there. It's just too far from everything. But I miss living in a sane country. As it is, I'm working on my move to Canada in 2022 plan. At least I won't have to travel 30+ hours to visit friends and family lol.
Kiwi here. I'm currently accepting applications to trade green cards.
Hey, if my Canadian Express entry application doesn't work out, I may take you up on that.
I miss Utah. I just want to live in Park City again.
Really? Only way I can make sense of that is if you're into snow sports.
Have always lived in Y. Winter is my fav season. Don't even mind when it's -40.
I'm PA to TX2MN transplant and I have no actual idea how you manage to not mind -40 degrees. That's kill you dead temperature and you sure as hell know it when you feel it.
The only smart country on the planet RN.
Western Australia has the exact same restriction on borders. Not yet a country, but the state gov has never been more popular.
It's hard to be less popular than a state government which spent $500 million on 4 restaurants and a snail sculpture.
I'm fascinated by this comment but don't know how to Google what you are referencing. What's the backstory?
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.